Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will explain the paper titled Civic Education, the Context of Developing Digital Literacy for Global Citizens. There are the author of this paper. First, Hadi Cahyono M.Pd. Second, Dr. Sulton M.Si. And the next, Ambiro Puji Asmaroini M.Pd. Dr. Sunarto M.Si, Dr. Ardhana Januar Mahardhani M.KP, and Rudi Ruhardi M.Or. The introduction. At this time, the importance of digital literacy is needed to be applied to students. The number of Indonesian teenagers and children accessing the internet network, social media without minimal attention or supervision from parents. It can have a bad impact on teenagers and children where this will lead to negative behavior because there is no information contained in social media or the internet network is suitable to be followed or consumed among teenagers and children in Indonesia. Basically, they want to express themselves in a unnatural way in addition to gain the sympathy of those who see them. And not only that, it is not uncommon for negative attitudes to appear such as berating, cursing, bullying, behaving that does not reflect the custom, morals, and norms of the community that have been attacked. This can have an impact on the environment, society, and oneself. The Ministry of Communication and Information Technology in 2014 conducted a study with the result reaching around 30 million users of social media involving children and teenagers in Indonesia. The negative impact arising from the use of social media is that there will be social division behavior in society. Children will easily imitate inappropriate action in society, so the need for supervision, regular assistance by parents is very important. The information on the internet can be imitated by children if there is no control. Children and teenagers are very observant of what they see and what will definitely be imitated because they have not been able to distinguish between appropriate or not norms. Okay, there are several things that can affect children's motivation to play social media, including number 1, as a means of filling spare time, and number 2, media to find information and as a means of communication between friends and family. The role of parents in supervising and educating children in using the media is very important, so as not to fall into something that is not harmony with Indonesian society. In the current era, parents in supervising their children are very limited because most parents are busy with the activities they do and they are busy with the work they are doing. And in this case, the importance of digital literacy, the ability to know correctly and to interpret information, is presented in social media as a whole. In children, is intended to be able to filter the news that has been presented on the internet. The emergence of a bad attitude to the opening negative content without any monitoring and supervision for parents sometimes arise because of the lack of parental attention to their children regarding to use of social media, as well as the lack of parental knowledge of digital technology. There are parents required to do this. And in the subject of civic education, it is hoped that it can play an important role in growing students' digital ethics as a part of young citizens. Okay, the next is methodology. The method used in writing this article is literature because in its activities, the researchers records all findings regarding civic education, digital literacy, and global citizenship. The author focuses his research on the urgency of citizenship education to strengthen citizens' digital literacy in context of global citizenship. The author uses journal articles, books, and other information obtained from electronic sources so that they can strengthen the arguments built in this paper. The data analysis method uses the Miles and Huberman model, which is interactive, starting from collection data, data redaction, data presentation, and drawing conclusion. The next is results and discussion. In point A, interpreting citizenship education materials as strengthening the identity of Indonesian nation. There are several implementations of civic education in the world. The approach model used varies according the characteristic of region. Civic education that is used in various countries is through cross-curricular learning techniques where is integrated or included in social science subject, history, and is used as a separate subject. Civic education is a lesson that is able to prepare the young generation to become citizens with the skills, understanding, and qualities needed to fulfill the rights and obligations of citizenship in a global context. And next, there are several implementations of civic education in the world. The approach model used varies according to the characteristic of the region. Citizenship education is a means of character education that has a full vision and mission, namely building citizen competencies, which include the ability to develop citizen self, citizen character, citizen knowledge, citizen confidence, and citizen commitment. Citizenship education, the aim is to teach values related to humanity, openness, empathy, negotiation, equality, and awareness of love and the natural environment. Next is the purpose of civic education is to direct students as an individual who are able to act and think democratically. Okay, the next is digital citizenship, current views. People who are aware of the good and bad show in the intelligence of technological behavior and make the right choices when using technology is the understanding of the digital citizens. And next, digital citizenship is the behavior or norms of how a person uses information technology well. Next is we also need to protect our privacy data that should not be carelessly given to other people. Okay, next, the components in digital citizenship include number 1, citizens who have digital access or full electronic participation. Second, digital communication. And third, digital literacy, namely the teaching and learning process about technology and the use of technology. And the next, digital ethics, namely standard of behavior in using media social or media digital and internet. And the next is digital law, namely responsibility for action and actions using electronics. Okay, and next, digital security, namely electronic prevention measures to protect students, community groups, organizations, and citizens. And the next is digital fitness and well-being, namely physical health and psychology in the digital world. And the last is digital rights and responsibilities. Okay, in the point C, citizenship ethics as a global citizen. Ethics in digital citizenship is the norm of honest, responsible, and caring behavior related to the use of information and communication technology. There are 3 components of the implementation of digital citizenship, namely the learning environment, the school environment, and the out-of-school environment, where each of these components is interconnected. And the act of violating the law is the activity of stealing personal data as well as other people's property. In Indonesia, this activity is categorized into 5 aspects, namely copyright, trademark, slander and defamation, privacy and jurisdiction in cyberspace. For example, as we know, many cases of defamation occur which are carried out by irresponsible people, and as a result, they will be exposed to these cases. Okay, the next discussion is digital transactions or digital commerce. Currently, there are lots of buying and selling sites that can be easily accessed by sellers and buyers online. So that the sellers and buyer transaction process need to be aware in the advantage and risk obtained from each transaction. For these reasons, it is also necessary to know the advantages and disadvantages of digital transaction, because currently there are many cases of fraud in cyberspace in the name of digital transaction. Another thing is digital health, which has talked about the benefit of digital technology. It turns out that behind the benefits of digital technology, there are health threats as well. And next, understanding the ethics of digital citizenship. The first is a Creative Commons license, which is a non-profit organization that aims to expand the scope of creative work so that the work is visible. The work is used by others knowingly is to use the license. There are 3 codes, and the first is the owner of the original work. The second is the possibility of derivative works from the same license. The 3 is non-commercial. A work may be used for commercial purpose. And point D, citizenship education as aligned in digital headway. In the development of students' character that through civic education, it will be more effective in the institution provides civic education material by giving students the opportunity to explore themselves and their surrounding environment. And the next is learning that is done well and continuously will have an impact on the ability and habituation of students. If the teacher does example or various form of implementation, they are not good, it will be imitated by students. To avoid things that are not desirable, then the need for supervision and teachers must be provide good examples in daily life. Next is the school environment and student life are components in the implementation of learning. In a digital access-based learning environment, the main thing is the acquisition of equal rights in accessing information, technology, facilities, intelligently and responsibly. And the next is digital literacy. Is a learning process about technology and its use, which is now emerging with many new technologies. So that technologies are emerging, so we can choose some of the most appropriate media and we can adjust it to our needs. Slide is conclusion. From the discussion above, it can be concluded that a problem related to teenagers and children must be immediately eradicated to the roots. This is the result of the misuse of digital media. And point B, the writers recommend that citizenship education teachers use and apply clarification as a basis for improving and growing civic character as an alternative in creating students' character of persistence in digital literacy. And point C, schools are a source of knowledge and have a very urgent role in the process of today's development. And point D, school as a medium has a very big influence of the growth and personality of children. And the last is the role of parent plays a big role in creating this digital literacy culture. Okay, that's all from my explanation. Thank you and see you next time insyaAllah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.